Hello, this is Alexander Green, Chief Investment Strategist of the Oxford Club. Most people know me from my financial books or my time managing money at one of the biggest firms in America with $2.8 trillion in assets. But today I'm going to go against conventional wisdom. I won't tell you that your retirement requires years of diligent savings or that it requires decades of growth in your 401k, even though it normally does. Rather, I'm going to show you how a small $7,000 portfolio of just 7 little-known stocks could make you a millionaire in less than 6 years, if you buy them before the end of the month. This is only possible right now because of the sudden and dramatic rise of artificial intelligence, the most important wealth-building opportunity since the internet. But before I reveal the details on the 7 stocks you should buy immediately, let me first explain why this opportunity is so big at this very moment. If you're at all familiar with the markets, you've likely heard the term the Magnificent Seven. It's the name given to the 7 stocks that have dominated the markets over the last 20 years. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and Tesla. These 7 stocks are synonymous with the rise of the internet, the most transformative innovation of the last 50 years. Investors who bought these 7 stocks made an absolute fortune. Consider this, the Magnificent Seven now have more profits than almost every country in the world. They have outperformed the overall market 46-1 since 2004. Just $1,000 in each, a total investment of $7,000 would be worth $1.18 million today. That's a return of 16,894%, or more than 160 times your money on each one. $5,000 in each would be worth $5.5 million, and $10,000 would now be worth a staggering $11 million. As an investor, the message is clear. The single best thing you can do for your future is to identify the handful of stocks that dominate a major new technology like the internet, and then put a few $1,000s in those stocks. However, there's a problem. The biggest and most important technological developments are rare, and most people fail to recognize them as they're happening. Over the last 50 years, there have been only 3 truly life-altering innovations that impacted every business in the world. The introduction of the personal computer in the early 1980s was one of them. The rise of the internet in the 1990s, and the popularization of the smartphone in the early 2000s. People who saw those moments for what they were got incredibly rich, but the people who missed them got left behind. Well, that is why I'm speaking to you today. AI, quite simply, is just as big, perhaps bigger, than the personal computer, the smartphone, and yes, even the internet. The rise of AI is not just big, but more importantly, fast. When ChatGPT was first introduced, it took just 2 months for it to reach 100 million users, the fastest growing consumer application ever. But that was just the beginning. AI is expanding into every corner of the economy at a lightning pace. As Stanford professor and entrepreneur Steve Blank says, AI has transformed every industry and every business. Every possible piece of commerce and enterprise is going to be reinvented in the next year. Think about that for a moment. Every industry, every business, every piece of commerce, all of it happening now. This is a once or twice a century event. As Google CEO put it, this is going to impact every product across every company. AI is expected to add $25.6 trillion to the global economy over the next 6 years. That's more than the economies of Japan, Germany, India, France, Canada, and the UK combined. And when a new industry this big comes along, a new set of previously unknown stocks always rise up to dominate the markets. I've spent the last few months working to identify exactly which companies I believe will become the new household names, the ones that will be synonymous with AI, the same way that Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, and NVIDIA dominated the age of the internet. And through my research, I found the exact 7 stocks you need to buy right now. As you'll see in today's presentation, each one possesses patented technology that will revolutionize tech, healthcare, manufacturing, and even the internet itself. They've created essential products that will be used by hundreds of millions of customers, generating billions of dollars in sales in the process. I believe they'll be crowned the next Magnificent Seven. And I believe that if you put a small investment in these 7 companies, as little as $1,000 in each, you could become a millionaire in under 6 years. That's how big this is. But if you hesitate and let this moment pass, you will be left behind. I've already found the companies, and I want to send you their names and ticker symbols today. It's important to buy them before the end of the month for reasons I'll explain shortly. But before I share with you the story behind each of these AI super stocks, I first want to address the most important question you should be asking yourself right now. Why should you listen to me? Well, for one, I've personally invested in or recommended many of the best performing stocks of the last 20 years. It's easy for anyone to look back and say you should have bought the best performing stocks at the start of their runs, but much harder to recognize and act on those moments in real time. I learned long ago that an entire portfolio can be won or lost on the success of just a handful of stocks. And I learned that finding great stocks requires recognizing huge innovations the moment they hit the market and then buying those stocks early. This is key. When new innovations hit, you cannot hesitate or you will miss out on the biggest gains. So for example, in late 1996, Apple announced that Steve Jobs, the ultimate innovator, was returning to the company. I didn't hesitate. I bought a few $1,000s worth of Apple, which split adjusted was less than $1 a share in 96 and 97, and I still hold them all today. And Apple is the #1 performing stock of the last 20 years with a return of nearly 60,000%. Every $1,000 turned into almost $600,000. I did the same thing with Amazon and Netflix. When I began to see my neighbor's mailbox filled with red Netflix envelopes and Amazon packages lining up at people's doorsteps, I knew those companies were reshaping entire industries. And again, I didn't hesitate. I added both to my portfolio in 2005, and I still hold every share. Netflix is the 6th best stock of the last 20 years, and Amazon is the 11th. In 2004, I began to investigate NVIDIA when insiders bought up $20 million worth of the stock. This was long before NVIDIA made headlines, but I saw how important their technology would become. I wrote to my readers that NVIDIA is now selling chips so powerful that current computer hardware and gaming software can't even exploit the technology. At the time, NVIDIA was just $1.10 per share, split adjusted. We took a 100% gain in 141 days, and for those who held on, it turned into one of the great stock buys of all time. Today, it's over $900 a share. It's the 3rd best performing stock of the last 20 years. One of my readers even came up to me at an event in Ojai, California this year and told me he bought NVIDIA at the time I recommended it. He invested $30,000, and even after taking some money out to do house projects and pay for his kids' education, his shares are still worth $900,000 today. That's how impactful identifying a great stock early can be. And we've helped people find many of the best ones. For example, the same year I found NVIDIA, I also wrote about Intuitive Surgical, the 4th best performing stock of the last 20 years. It produced a return of over 19,000%. Back in 2019, I got a note from a reader named Sean Connors. He told me he bought and sold Intuitive 5 times, and he made $1.2 million on the 5th time. At the time, Intuitive Surgical had already gained an incredible 6,000%, and he was using this money to create multi-generational wealth for his family. We even called Tesla early. In April 2013, when it was about $2.75 a share, split adjusted, we published this in our monthly Oxford Club communique. Investors who want a pure play in the EV space might do well to consider investing in a few shares of Tesla Motors. Given the enthusiasm for the company's cars and its rapid growth rate, you might be able to afford one yourself in a few years just by selling the shares you purchase now. Of course, Tesla became one of the Magnificent Seven, and shares trade 60 times higher today. So, how did we do all of this? How did we find so many of the best performing stocks of the past 20 years? And how can we identify the next Magnificent Seven, the stocks that will dominate the new era of AI? Well, the first step is to only target companies that meet the 5 golden metrics. I'll tell you up front, I'm not perfect at picking stocks. I've certainly had stock picks go south on me, and you shouldn't expect perfection in every play I'm recommending today. Some might turn into gigantic winners, others might not make the cut. That's why you should never bet the farm on any single play. However, in looking back at the stocks that performed exceptionally well for me, almost everyone has these 5 characteristics. Number 1, it was a leader in cutting-edge technology like Apple, Netflix, and NVIDIA. Number 2, it sold breakthrough products used by hundreds of millions of customers around the world. Number 3, its technology was protected by patents, trademarks, and brand names. Number 4, each one had massive sales growth. Number 5, and every stock had the potential for dozens of blockbuster launches and announcements that drive a stock higher. As you'll see in the next few minutes, the next Magnificent Seven stocks meet every one of the 5 golden metrics because each one is developing patented, cutting-edge technology that is being sold to hundreds of millions of customers and generating massive sales growth. They are doing this by harnessing the incredible power of AI. AI is in the middle of transforming every single industry in the world, and in ways that we can only imagine right now. As the founder of Google's AI development division recently said, it's difficult to think of a major industry that AI will not transform. This includes healthcare, education, transportation, retail, communications, and even agriculture. And we're going to see new AI stocks come to dominate the markets in the coming years. And these AI stocks will become so dominant that I believe even a $7,000 portfolio spread out among the next Magnificent Seven could make you a millionaire within 6 years or less. That's how big and fast moving this is. In fact, AI could end up generating more millionaires than any innovation in history. For years, scientists and engineers have told us about the incredible potential of artificial intelligence. Now, that potential is quickly becoming our new reality. Thanks to the rapid advances of chip makers like NVIDIA, AI has made a sudden and dramatic leap. Its power is breathtaking, to say the least. As Peter Diamandis, New York Times bestselling author of Abundance, says, we are at a unique moment in history, on the cusp of a revolution that will usher in multiple trillion-dollar companies and industries. AI is about to change business models across every industry. Diamandis is right. This is happening as we speak. Just look at drug discovery in the pharmaceutical industry. Normally, finding a new drug to treat a disease is one of the most costly and time-consuming processes for any industry. It can take over 10 years and can cost up to $12 billion to develop a new drug. And still, 9 out of 10 fail in the end. It's slow, inefficient, and expensive. Not to mention, it costs lives. But AI is changing all that. MIT's artificial intelligence can identify effective drug possibilities 1,000 times faster than in the past. The Wall Street Journal reports that the time required for the early stages of drug discovery could shrink from years to months. They say the approach could not only boost the effectiveness of current drugs and drug candidates, but could also lead to never-before-seen molecules that could treat diseases like pancreatic cancer or ALS. You can see why the dean of Stanford's medical school believes that AI is medicine's biggest moment since antibiotics. He might be underplaying it. It could end up being much bigger than antibiotics. For example, AI is being used to detect overlooked heart disease and can predict breast cancer up to 2 years early. It's allowing paralyzed people to control mechanized limbs and computer screens with their minds. And according to the National Institute of Health, AI is transforming biomedical cancer research, offering innovative solutions for cancer diagnosis, treatment, and overall patient care. We're looking at a real chance to end certain cancers here. And you can imagine how valuable the company that solves that will become. More on that in just a minute. But it goes far beyond medicine. Again, this AI revolution is going to affect every industry in the world. Look at agriculture. AI can instantly assess plant stress caused by lack of water, pests, disease, and more, and then instantaneously act to solve the problem. This enables farmers to grow more food on less land, with less water, less pesticides, and less fertilizer. For example, in India, 500,000 farmers now use AI to maximize the usage of water, nutrients, and fertilizers on crops. In just 18 months, this program increased crop yield by 21% per acre, while dramatically reducing the usage of both fertilizer and pesticides. Here in America, companies like John Deere are combining AI with satellite imagery to pinpoint variations in soil moisture, nutrient levels, and plant health. And by doing so, they can minimize waste and maximize output. And this will continue a little talked about trend. In America, we've actually tripled our food output while cutting our land use by 25% and labor by nearly 75%. Increasing food output while using less resources radically improves the world. It has the potential to eradicate poverty, lower prices, and increase food quality everywhere. But you'll never hear the media talking about this good news. However, for investors who understand it, it's the chance for a major windfall. And again, that's just one more example. The use of AI is obviously exploding in every industry, perhaps most notably in the tech world. For instance, AI can already instantly write complex coding software, so projects that used to take months can now be done in an instant. Coders have increased productivity up to 55% already thanks to AI assistance. And in a New York Times investigation, they reported new AI coding tech to be a tool that will end up boosting human productivity. It may even help a whole new generation of people learn the art of computers by showing them how to write simple pieces of code almost like a personal tutor. This will be massive for economic growth around the world because the faster you can code, the faster you can launch new businesses, new products, and entire new technologies. All of that means more economic growth and higher stock market returns. This is why AI is so valuable. We're talking about exponential increases in productivity across the world. AI can instantly analyze financial statements, generate PowerPoint presentations, build training programs, create poetry, write film scripts, design the interior of your home, create architectural blueprints, virtually any task. That's why Sequoia Capital, the venture capital firm that backed YouTube, PayPal, Zoom, Google, and more, says AI has the potential to generate trillions of dollars of economic value, which is why AI is just as big an innovation as the internet. McKinsey actually did a study to determine just how big the impact would be. They studied 63 use cases across 16 different industries, and they estimated that AI's economic impact will soon reach between $17.1 and $25.6 trillion annually. That's nearly as big as the entire U.S. economy. And with this economic growth will come massive gains for certain stocks, and that's why the single most important thing you should be doing right now is working to identify which stocks will be the winners, because we're going to see an explosion in value for the stocks that figure out how to maximize AI right now. I've been working around the clock to determine which stocks will be the winners, and I have now identified 7 dominant AI stocks that I believe you should buy immediately. Within 6 years, I believe these 7 companies will be known as the next Magnificent 7. And with just $1,000 in each, a total portfolio of just $7,000, I believe they have the potential to help you become a millionaire in less than 6 years. That's how big this is. So, with that in mind, let me tell you a bit about each of these 7 companies. The first stock that I am certain will become one of the next Magnificent 7 is one of the most important AI innovators in the world today. They design, develop, and license high-performance central processing units, or CPUs, the brain of any AI computing device. And they are expanding everywhere. The company only IPO'd in 2023, but already people are openly wondering if it will become the next trillion-dollar company. The firm has its advanced CPU technology in over 280 billion chips in everything from sensors to smartphones to servers. For example, NVIDIA's Grace Hopper 200 super chip, it runs on this company's chip technology. So does Google's Gemini Nano Pixel 6 and Samsung's Galaxy S24. Oh, but it gets bigger. The company just entered into a massive long-term deal with Apple to ensure this company's chip technology will be found in both iPhones and MacBooks until, get this, 2040. Just how big of a deal is that? Well, look at a company like Broadcom. It first partnered with Apple to provide Wi-Fi chips in the Apple iBook way back in 1999. And it's continued with major partnerships with Apple ever since. And as a result, the stock is a blockbuster. If you bought it when it IPO'd in 2009, you'd be up 9,155%, 12,623% with dividends reinvested. This is the kind of potential you're looking at here with this new stock because it is expanding everywhere. It's being used in AI, found in new self-driving technology. It's being used for cybersecurity AI, graphics and multimedia AI, software and development AI. And what's great about all this is the company's business model. Every time it gets its technology into something like an iPhone or an NVIDIA superchip, the company earns recurring royalties. Royalties represent about 60% of the company's business. And this money just keeps coming in year after year. That's why the company just announced a blockbuster record quarter with $824 million in sales and $3.2 billion in revenue expected in the coming year. It's why people are speculating that it will become the 7th company in the world worth over $1 trillion. However, time is of the essence here. The company is getting so much attention that the stock is already moving up quickly. People are rushing to get into the shares. And in fact, it's not just Wall Street and regular investors. The biggest tech companies in the world are also racing to get in on the action. NVIDIA is loading up on shares, and so is Apple, Google, AMD, Intel, and Samsung. They are all now invested in the company directly. This is very unusual. Usually the big tech firms invest their capital back in their own business. But here they're loading up on another company's stock. I'm telling you, this is a hesitate and get left behind situation. Even waiting a month could leave substantial profits on the table. The time to buy shares, in my opinion, is now. So that's the first company I'm certain will be one of the next Magnificent 7. Let's talk about the second. It's a company built around an ambitious idea to build a better internet using AI. Let me explain. Right now, every time someone visits a website, their computer or smartphone retrieves it from a server in a data center. The site must load quickly and securely, or the internet user will move on. But here's the problem. In the age of AI, so much information is being accessed all at once that many server farms and data centers are overwhelmed. According to Scientific American, NVIDIA's AI expansion alone will require 1.5 million servers annually, and the energy required to power all the new AI servers will be more than the energy needs of an entire country the size of the Netherlands. To run all these systems without the internet coming to a crawl is going to take an immense amount of network power. And that is where this company comes in. Thanks to an array of more than 300 data centers located in cities across the world, it is building one of the fastest and safest information networks our world has ever seen. In fact, its speed dwarfs its nearest competitors, Amazon and Google, and it is now the fastest network provider in most of the world's countries. It is the fastest at every country on this map that is orange. So what happens when you create a faster network than even Amazon and Google? You attract some of the biggest and most powerful companies in the world as customers. IBM, H&M, DoorDash, Walmart, Best Buy, Lenovo, Dell, Etsy, and Nike now work with this company. In fact, 30% of the Fortune 1000 companies are now customers. Of course, almost nobody on the street could identify this company. As The Verge put it, it is the most important internet company you've never heard of. And yet, the biggest corporations in the world are signing up for their services on an epic scale. But it shouldn't surprise us. The company is creating an internet that is faster, more secure, more reliable, and more efficient than ever before. It would be surprising if customers weren't lining up at their doors. And of course, this leads to massive profits. The company's sales numbers are superb, though they are likely to get much, much better. The company topped Wall Street's estimates by 79% on average over the last 4 quarters. And in the third quarter, net income improved 167% on a 32% increase in sales. And yet, the future upside looks even rosier. Here's what the CEO of the company had to say about its explosive growth. The opportunity we have in front of us is enormous. We've penetrated less than 1% of our identified market for the products we have available today. Think about that. Less than 1%. This, folks, will be one of the future Magnificent Seven. It actually reminds me a lot of Cisco, which provided the infrastructure for the adoption of the internet in the 1990s. From 1992 to 2000, it rose to a peak over 15,000%. $1,000 turned into $150,000. $10,000 turned into $1.5 million. That was one of the best runs of all time. And that's how big the potential is here. And again, that's why I believe you should build a small portfolio made up of the next Magnificent Seven stocks. Every one of these stocks has blockbuster potential. It doesn't mean every single one will turn into a smash hit, but every single one has smash hit potential. In fact, the next one might well have the biggest upside of all. The third next Magnificent Seven stock is one directly using AI to discover treatments for difficult diseases. It was founded by a doctor in biophysics from the University of Oxford, and this company is using AI to instantly sift through millions of drug candidates, pinpointing the ones that are most likely to treat any disease. As Hospital News confirms, this could reduce in principle the time between concept and coming to market of new drugs by years and decrease production costs by hundreds of millions of dollars. You can imagine the potential. And our company has the patented technology to get this done. The stock now trades for less than $10 a share, but could it end up 50 times higher or more, like Intuitive Surgical? Yes, it absolutely has that kind of potential, because what they're doing has the potential to bring in billions of dollars and save millions of lives. It is the first company in history to bring an AI-designed drug to clinical trials, and it did it in just 12 months. But this is just the beginning. The company is loaded with blockbuster product launches and announcements, one of our 5 golden metrics for a great stock. And this includes new treatments for solid tumors, including ovarian and breast cancer, the first AI-supported platform to guide the treatment of patients with advanced blood cancer, a portfolio of up to 5 antiviral drugs in a $70 million collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the acquisition of Allcyte, integrating that company's tissue platform into its own drug discovery operations, and much more. As a result, the money is flowing in. This tiny AI stock is signing massive deals with some of the biggest pharma companies in the world. For example, a short while ago, the French drug giant Sanofi entered into a $283 million partnership with the company, but now they are going bigger. Sanofi recently agreed to pay the company up to $5.2 billion to develop 15 oncology and immunology drugs. The company will receive $100 million up front, as well as milestone payments from successful treatments. They also have a collaboration with Merck on 3 potential best-in-class drug targets worth up to $674 million. It signed a major $1.2 billion partnership with Bristol Myers Squibb, and it's working with Rally Bio, an American pharma company, on rare diseases, and Aperion Therapeutics on ovarian cancer. I haven't seen a biotech with this much upside potential since Intuitive Surgical, a company we wrote about back in 2004. At the time, nobody had heard of Intuitive, but they were building new surgical robots that, like AI, could help doctors perform medical procedures with extreme precision. And the stock turned into a total rocket ride. Since 2004, in January, it's up over 19,500%. Now, of course, this is one of the best performing stocks in the last 20 years. Not every AI stock will see these extraordinary gains, but I believe that because of AI, biotech in particular could see one of the biggest bull runs in market history over the coming years. And that's why our 4th Next Magnificent 7 stock is also using AI to dramatically improve healthcare. But this one does it at the cellular level. Each of us is made up of an average of 40 trillion individual cells, and these cells are enormously complex. If everything is functioning perfectly, we enjoy good health. But if something is off, even a little bit, it can lead to disease. And my 4th Next Magnificent 7 stock uses AI to discover and fix these problems at the cellular level. And scientists use its machines to research treatments for Alzheimer's disease, cystic fibrosis, a number of cancers, and many more diseases. The National Institutes of Health alone spent more than $3 billion last year backing this type of research. And our company has 1,750 patents protecting its technology from competitors. And as a result, everyone is lining up to work with them. The company's products are used by all of the top 100 global research institutions and by all 20 of the top global pharmaceutical companies. Its tools have been cited in over 5,000 publications, with the number growing each year, and sales are rapidly moving higher. The company went from $298 million in sales in 2020 to $618 million in sales last year, and their margins are huge too, at 66%. And they're sitting on a massive cash hoard of $359 million. Companies like this can deliver impressive gains. For example, we wrote about the stock Celgene, a biotech that fights cancer, way back in 2003. One of our readers put $25,000 into the stock at the time. He says that despite selling off his original $25,000 plus $300,000 in profits, his investment over 14 years generated about $800,000 in total. And again, That's what a great biotech can do. But remember, AI is altering every industry in the world right now. It's completely reshaping healthcare at lightning speed, but it's also making dramatic changes to manufacturing and shipping and retail. And that's where our fifth next Magnificent Seven stock is found. People often ask me if AI is just hype. Well, here's a perfect example of a real world application that is increasing productivity and generating billions in economic activity. Our fifth next Magnificent Seven stock is a developer of AI software and robotics for supply chains in the United States. Its robots can navigate giant distribution centers at speeds of up to 20 miles an hour, stocking and retrieving goods in a fraction of the time compared to old technology. In short, it moves goods with unmatched speed, accuracy, and efficiency. And this AI company packages, stocks, and ships out goods for some of the biggest retailers in the world. The company works with Albertsons, the second largest grocery chain in North America. It partners with Target, the seventh largest retailer in the country. But here's the big one. It just signed a huge deal with Walmart, the #1 retailer in the nation, to install systems in every one of Walmart's regional distribution centers across the country. These contracts last for 10 years. So we're talking about mountains of cash flowing in for years. Revenue already jumped 98% last year, but growth looks dramatically higher in the future, and the company is in excellent financial position with zero debt and $675 million in cash. So it's no wonder that the insiders own 19% of the outstanding shares here. They must see the blockbuster future potential of this stock as well. But here's the thing with all of these. You can see how many of these companies are inking big new deals with major corporations. That's going to get them far more attention, and it could lift share prices quickly. You want to get in before that happens, which is why I'm telling people they need to buy the best AI stocks right now, because hesitating here could cost you. Vertex Pharmaceuticals is a great example of this. If you bought it in April 2005, you'd be up 4,137% today. But if you bought just 1 month later, your gain drops to 2,800%. Wait 2 months and the gain drops to 2,296%. And wait 10 months and your gain drops to just 833%. Buying at the right time makes a huge difference to your total return. When you find stocks with as much upside as these next Magnificent Seven stocks, you can bet that other investors will start moving in too, and the stocks will get more expensive, and the upside potential will be lower. And that's why I'm advocating that investors target these 7 stocks right now. Now, let me give you the last 2, and then I'll share with you how to get the ticker symbols and the buy instructions for all 7. One of the biggest dangers with AI is that criminals will use it to steal people's identities and hack into companies' systems. And billions will be spent on cybersecurity as a result. Morgan Stanley reports that the industry will grow from $15 billion in 2021 to $135 billion by 2030. And our 6th next Magnificent Seven company is using AI to fight these cyber criminals. In short, they've built an AI technology that instantly authenticates and verifies authorized users, and it blocks the cyber criminals. The company is absolutely exploding right now. It signed up 8,000 customers, including some of the biggest brand names in the world. The company provides cybersecurity for American Express, British Petroleum, Deutsche Bank, UBS, Suncor, MetLife, even NASA. And what has this done for their business? Well, the company's CEO rightly described the past 12 months as a momentous year for the company. The stats are incredible. Subscription revenue jumped from $280 million to $472 million, growth of 68% in a single year. Annual recurring revenue increased from $570 million to $774 million. And the company is flush with cash with $1.3 billion in the bank. And most importantly, recurring revenue now makes up 90% of their business, which means they have a predictable revenue stream that will only grow and grow from here. This is an AI leader with a huge market, excellent management, and superb growth prospects, and cybersecurity can deliver big wins for investors. Palo Alto Networks, for example, has delivered a return of 1,797% in just over 10 years. With the power of AI, this cybersecurity stock has even more upside. And okay, I saved the best for last. The final next Magnificent Seven stock is also in biotech because I see more opportunity there than in any other industry. And this is a stock I highlighted as my #1 stock in the entire market going into this year. The company operates in a new technology that was only invented just over 10 years ago. It's called gene editing, and it won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2011. And now, thanks to AI, its development is going into overdrive. In short, gene editing is allowing scientists to make precise changes in the DNA of living cells, and it will create new treatments for genetic diseases like muscular dystrophy, Huntington's disease, hemophilia, cancer, infectious diseases, and more. It's unmatched and unparalleled in science, according to Brad Reingeson, the executive director of Cal's Innovative Genomics Institute. Unmatched is right. I believe this technology, more than anything scientists are working on right now, will lead to longer, healthier, and happier lives. It doesn't just treat patients, it can cure them for life. It's a true gift for the human race, and my favorite company is the first one ever to win full approval of a gene editing drug. It was called a monumental decision, and the stock soared in the lead up to the news. But what's happened so far is a drop in the bucket compared to what's coming. The company has numerous treatments in the pipeline. It has 2 treatments in the works for cardiovascular disease. It's testing treatments for lymphoma, kidney cancer, and solid tumors. It's working on a gene editing treatment for diabetes. All told, the company expects to have 20 different treatments in the next 5 years. That's 20 potential blockbusters, every one of which could send the stock flying higher. In short, this company is on the cutting edge of a technology that will save millions of lives and make billions of dollars. I have no doubt it will become one of the most important household names in the market, and you can own it along with all 6 of the other next Magnificent Seven. Even a small portfolio with just $1,000 in each stock could help you become a millionaire in the next 6 years. That's how big the potential is in AI. But again, every day you wait is another day of potentially falling behind as AI takes off, which is why I want to give you my entire portfolio of the next Magnificent Seven stocks right now. I've taken every one of the 7 stocks I believe you should buy now and written up all the details in a new report called The Next Magnificent Seven, how these 7 AI stocks could make you a millionaire. The AI revolution is the most important development in the market since the internet, and my report is your blueprint to profit from this moment effectively. If you want, I can have it in your hands in the next few minutes. You'll get every one of the next Magnificent Seven stocks. I'll break down each of the golden metrics that I look for, the technology that these companies have developed, their partnerships with major tech firms, their massive sales growth numbers, future announcement that could drive the stocks higher. There's no reason for anyone to miss this wealth building opportunity. Most people don't know this, but on average, 1,700 Americans become new millionaires each day. But I believe that this AI revolution is going to spike that number, and you do not want to be one of those left behind. Now, I should mention, of course, that there are always risks in investing, and not every stock I've given you today is guaranteed to work out. To get on the end of a 5,000%, 10,000% or higher gain is a very rare feat, but I have done it personally multiple times. I've won big by investing in or recommending companies like Apple, Netflix, NVIDIA, Amazon, Intuitive Surgical, Celgene, and others. But I've also been wrong plenty of times along the way. Any smart investor should recognize that some investments won't work out. But here's the thing. It's the big winners that make the difference in the end. When a company like Apple goes up 60,000%, it doesn't matter that another stock didn't do so well. And every one of the 7 stocks I'm giving you have that kind of upside potential. My personal portfolio has been made on just a handful of stocks. And these 7 stocks could make your portfolio too. In just a few moments, you can have this report in your inbox. But before I send it to you, I want to explain why this is so important to me. I'm a big believer in America, but I feel that too many Americans are being overwhelmed by the negative messaging in the media. Sure, there are plenty of very real problems out there, but if you stay focused on the problems, you'll miss out on some of the great things going on in our world. There are advancements happening right now that will generate trillions of dollars in wealth, and we're alive to be a part of it. I put together my report, The Next Magnificent 7, How These 7 AI Stocks Could Make You a Millionaire, so that any American can share in the type of success that I've had in my career. Investing in companies like Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Costco, and others at the beginning completely changed my life. It gave me the financial security to live life to its fullest, to climb mountains and visit historic sites and raise a family, and I think every American should have that. And these next magnificent 7 stocks have the potential to help deliver on that dream. The AI boom is that chance. So if you missed on Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and the other great stock stories, consider this a do-over. At the very least, I want you to get my report, carefully consider each of the companies I'm recommending, and then make a decision for yourself. I can send you the report so you can do that today. However, I have another bonus for you today. There's actually one more stock I think you should know. I consider this one the #1 hyper-growth AI stock. And while I clearly predict terrific long-term potential for the next Magnificent 7, this hyper-growth AI stock has more short-term potential than anything else I'm seeing. Because here's what it does. It helps other businesses use AI to supercharge their industries. Remember earlier, I talked about how every business and every piece of commerce would be impacted by AI? Well, this company does that. The company actually helps build AI bots and algorithms that can help other companies greatly enhance productivity. And business is booming. Businesses across the world are trying to figure out how to harness AI all at once, and they're turning to this company for the answers, which is why sales jumped from $607 million in 2021 to $1.3 billion in 2024. And right now, they're only scratching the surface of this market. I want to send you my latest report on this company as well. It's called the #1 AI hypergrowth stock, your second shot at Apple, Amazon, or Netflix. All told, you'll get both. #1, the next Magnificent 7, how these 7 AI stocks could make you a millionaire. And secondly, the #1 AI hypergrowth stock, your second shot at Apple, Amazon, or Netflix. Every report is very simple. I lay out what the company does, why its technology is so important, what patents protect it, the sales growth and future prospects, a breakdown of the company's potential upside, and of course, easy instructions explaining how to buy the stock. My goal is to help as many Americans as possible become millionaires thanks to this revolution in AI. And even if you aren't a trading pro, I've arranged everything you need to be successful. In fact, I've put together a third report with all my best secrets for generating wealth. It's called How to Build a $1 Million Portfolio from Scratch. You see, when I first started out as a stockbroker almost 40 years ago, I wasn't very good at it. I made a lot of mistakes. I realized I was shooting from the hip, and I hadn't done the proper amount of studying to learn from the investment greats who came before me. So I went back and became a student of legends like John Templeton, Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and others. And I found that they had specific strategies for maximizing profits while limiting risk. And I've compiled these secrets in How to Build a $1 Million Portfolio from Scratch. And this report will walk you through every step to become a great investor. You'll be surprised at how simple some of the strategies are, but also how often they're ignored by investors. However, I can say one thing with conviction. If you use these strategies and buy high-quality companies that are changing the world, you can produce millions of dollars of profits, even if you only have a small stake of a few $1,000s. I'm living proof it's possible to build a $1 million portfolio from scratch. Of course, some people watching this might already be millionaires and just want to grow their wealth more. Some who set out to become millionaires might do it in 6 years, while for others, it might take 10 or 20. Everyone is different, and that's just fine. The key is setting goals for you and then working to hit them. Personally, I came from humble beginnings. In fact, I attended public school in the South that did not have air conditioning. My own home did not have air conditioning. I had no connections on Wall Street, but I had a desire to achieve the American dream. And I'm proud to say I've done exactly that thanks to the incredible world of investing. Of course, you may decide that investing isn't for you, and that's perfectly fine. Perhaps you want to just learn about the amazing ways that AI is changing our world. That's important too. It's 100% up to you. But I'm going to give you the tools that have worked for me as both a professional money manager and a personal investor building my own retirement. And at a time like this, with the AI boom that's underway, I believe it's crucial that you understand what's going on. This is big, and you do not want to let the moment pass you by. Here's what I think you should do. Take advantage of my offer to send you all 3 of my reports right now. Open them up, take a look at the stocks and the amazing technologies they are developing, and ask yourself a question. Do you want to participate in this world-changing moment, or just be a bystander as it passes you by? If you look back at all the major developments of the last 150 years, did you ever go wrong by investing in a technology that changed the world forever? Would you have been wrong to invest in the railroad, or the development of the automobile, or the television, electricity, the computer, the internet, cell phones, smartphones? AI is that kind of moment once more. So the choice is yours. Now is the time to buy the next Magnificent Seven. Currently, my team has a set of all our reports ready for you. You can receive them now. But I'm not going to just send these reports to you and wish you the best. Rather, I want to help you at every step along this AI journey. You see, whenever I find a great investment opportunity, or discover a world-changing technology, or learn a new strategy for making money in the markets, I share those opportunities with my followers through my monthly publication, the Oxford Communique. The Oxford Communique is where I share my best investment ideas in the markets every single month. And I want to be clear, we don't do this just to increase the number in our bank accounts. It's not a scoreboard. The reason to pursue great wealth is to give yourself the freedom to live life on your own terms. My hope is that the next Magnificent Seven will allow you to become a hero to your friends and family. I hope you'll have more money to give to your favorite charity, to travel to see family members whenever you want, to start a business, or pursue a hobby you've put off for years. That's what I have in mind when I write each monthly issue of the Communique and share it with you, to help you achieve true and lasting financial freedom. With each monthly issue, I'll share my insights on the economy, interest rates, new technologies, and of course, my favorite stocks with the most upside potential. For example, the Communique is where we've shared details on stocks that would go on to become blockbuster investments, like Intuitive Surgical, Celgene, Berkshire Hathaway, Marvell Technology, Tesla, and plenty more. But we go beyond just stocks. With the Communique, I also give people warnings of major macroeconomic events that could impact our readers' portfolios. For example, We warned our readers of the dot-com collapse in February 2000 before tech stocks peaked and collapsed 1 month later. We warned about the housing crisis in January 2008, 9 months before the financial collapse on Wall Street. We warned people about the dangers of pot stocks, meme stocks, and other speculative bubbles. And we also helped people take advantage of great buying opportunities. We told readers in 2009 to get back into the market in a big way, telling our members it should be an excellent year for the market. We also told people it was time to load up again right after the COVID collapse. Stocks went on to soar the rest of the year. I tell you all of this to emphasize our goal with the communique is to help you navigate any potential pitfalls in the market, and we've succeeded in that goal. The average communique position has outperformed the market handily for over 20 years, which has led to some amazing success stories from our readers. Let me show you some of the best ones. Take the story of David Mason. He started with $200,000 over 20 years ago, and he's now at $3.5 million with roughly $125,000 in annual dividends. Or Pat Douglas. He started with $150,000, but over 10 years, he grew it to well over $3 million. He told us he did this despite his personal and family expenses. Irvin Upshaw has been with us for decades and saw 200-fold growth to his portfolio. He called the Oxford Club his best investment ever. And we have great stories from small investors too, like Liam Rogers. He started with just $1,000, but grew it to $20,000 in 3 years. Of course, everyone will see their own results from investing. Nothing is guaranteed in the markets, but time and again, I've seen readers from all backgrounds succeed if they do two things. One, they block out the relentless negativity in the media, and they also focus on investing in great companies with breakthrough technologies and products. And two, they have an individualistic spirit. They want to take control of their own lives and finances, and I can help you do that. The Oxford Communique is made for Americans who want to harness the great power of American ingenuity. That's why I'm extending an invitation for you to join us now. Become part of our club today and receive the communique, and you'll get all the details on my next Magnificent 7 stocks. You'll also get my #1 AI hyper-growth stock, plus our How to Build a $1 Million Portfolio from Scratch report, and each month going forward, you'll also get my favorite stocks in every major new industry changing the world today. And that includes artificial intelligence, of course, but also edge computing, smart agriculture, robotics, genomics, embedded intelligence, cybersecurity, and renewable energy. I'll give you my very best ideas. My goal is very simple. 5 years from now, when you see headlines about the new hot stock that's all the rage, I want you to smile because you already own it. You didn't wait for the mainstream media to tell you about it. You identified the biggest winners of these new trends early. I can tell you from personal experience, it's a lot of fun when people bring up an exciting new stock in the news and you tell them, oh yeah, I bought that one a few years ago. I want to give you that experience with the communique. All you have to do is accept my invitation into our club today. And I'll get started sharing my very best investment ideas with you. To start with, you'll get all the reports I've shared with you. But we'll also set you up to receive 12 monthly issues of the communique, each one highlighting my favorite investment in the market that month. Access to all of our modeled trading portfolios, including the Oxford Trading Portfolio, our Oxford All-Star Portfolio, and the 10 baggers of tomorrow portfolio. 10 baggers is Peter Lynch's word for a stock that has the potential to rise tenfold or more. Weekly model portfolio updates with key new information regarding our current recommendations. Oxford Insight emails with behind-the-scenes intelligence from the Oxford Club team, as well as the Oxford Club's global network of associates. Reports like the Oxford Club Guide to Gold and 23 cash rebate programs hidden in the tax code. Password-protected access to our members-only website, newly designed with a far more personalized approach for you. Personal invitations to our 5-star member events in beautiful locations like Whistler, British Columbia, where we held a recent private wealth seminar. Access to our Pillar 1 advisors, including experts in collectibles, real estate, tax law, insurance, and more. Plus, we have a brand new benefit that our members love. Every member of the communique gets premier access to our virtual club room. This is where we go live every week to discuss the most important investment ideas for that week. And we'll talk about the stocks that we love and what's going on with the broad market, and Fed moves and new technologies and much more. But this is more than just a chance to hear directly from us. We also want to hear from you. You can ask some of the top investment minds in the country direct questions right when you have them. And of course, we aren't offering personalized investment advice, but we discuss everything in the market, from how to trade options to how the market's reacting to the recent Fed moves and much more. Best of all, in the club room, we can help you keep track of the progress of the next Magnificent Seven. So this gives you a chance to hear straight from me what's going on in the markets. For example, one of the first sessions we did in the club room when we launched it was on small cap investing. And I walked our members through my small cap strategy and then gave them all my favorite small cap at the time. It's called Rover. And the very next day, Blackstone released the news that it would acquire Rover, and the stock jumped 29% in a single day. And the great thing was, thanks to the club room, we were able to get members the information they needed to profit very quickly. So when it popped the next day, everybody was already on board. So you can see why the club room has quickly become one of the favorite features of membership in the communique. There isn't an experience like this anywhere else. You get premier access added onto your membership completely free of charge. And all you have to do is accept my invitation to join the communique, and every one of these benefits will be yours. In fact, I'll go a step further. I'll take all the risk off the table for you. When you join the communique, you'll get my reports on the next Magnificent Seven, the #1 AI hyper-growth stock, and how to build a $1 million portfolio from scratch. And you consider all three of these a gift, because even if you end up canceling the communique and getting a full refund, I'll still be happy for you to keep every one of the reports free of charge. So all the risk is on my shoulders. And I do this because I believe in the work that we do. And I'm certain that you'll see the value we provide very quickly. You're not going to cancel. You'll be making too much money to do that. We work tirelessly to provide deep research and to uncover investment opportunities most people miss. And we have a full team of researchers that work around the clock to identify the next great stocks. This isn't cheap, and so we charge a reasonable fee for membership in the communique. The full price to join us is traditionally $249 per year. And honestly, I think it's the greatest deal in the investment world. You get all of my 40 years of experience and only about $20 a month. You're getting access to a proven track record of building wealth. And I shared stories with you just a moment ago of members who made millions on our market-beating research. So, why do I do it? Frankly, I've done very well in the markets, and I want to help other people do the same. When I worked on Wall Street, one of the things that I didn't like was that the focus was on all about ultra high net worth clients. It wasn't about helping everyday Americans. So when I started writing the communique, I wanted to make it for the rich, the middle class, the poor, everyone in between, and I wanted to price it so everyone could participate. Otherwise, only a small group will be able to benefit from the wealth building ideas that we share every day. And listen, this is a crucial time ahead for Americans. The AI boom is a once in a century event. I know that the ultra wealthy are going to do well, but every American should benefit from this AI boom, which is why today I'm making the communique available at a deal that's too good for any reasonable person to pass up. I'm making it a no-brainer. When you respond to this offer today, I'll take 80% off the normal price, and you can become a member for just $49 per year. That's less than $5 a month. And at that price, if you say no, I'll have to assume that you aren't taking this opportunity in AI seriously, and that's your choice. But I think you'll look back on this moment with regret, ultimately, that you didn't act on the most transformative new technology since the internet. For those who are taking this moment seriously, I believe this will be a moment you look back on as a turning point. You'll remember that the AI boom was the moment that you changed your life. And don't forget, I promised before that you get to keep all the reports, even if you were to cancel. And I'll go even further than that. When a new member comes onto the communique, I give them a full 365 days to decide if it's right for them. Sign up, get the reports, track the portfolios, and if you feel I haven't delivered in any way, you can get a complete refund at any time over the first year. Plus, you still get to keep your reports no matter what. You might consider, are we crazy to do this? If we offered a subpar product, yes, we would be. We can only offer a robust full-year guarantee like this because we believe that much in our work and how happy that you're going to be as a member. And I think you'll agree this is fair. All the risk is on my side. I'm giving you the 80% discount, all the free reports, the 365-day guarantee. And on your side, you get an opportunity to get in on the 7 stocks that are completely changing our world thanks to AI. This AI revolution is the most important moment for investors since the introduction of the internet. Think about some of the companies I've told you about today, like the first one creating new AI CPU technology. It's so powerful, Apple signed a contract with the company through 2040. Not only that, Apple, NVIDIA, Google, Intel, Samsung, and others are actually buying the stock too. They know. They recognize how important this company will be. And they see the future upside that it could be the next trillion-dollar company. That's just one of the 7 next magnificent 7 stocks that will come to dominate the markets. Remember, the original Magnificent 7 produced an average gain, of 16,800%. That's 168 times your money on average. And these new AI stocks have just as much upside potential. The only difference is the speed with which this market is taking off. AI is expected to grow to a $25.6 trillion market, almost as big as the entire US economy. As Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, recently said, AI is possibly as transformational as some of the major technological inventions of the past several hundred years. Think the printing press, the steam engine, electricity, computing, and the internet. This is a moment that investors simply can't afford to miss. And as I said at the beginning of this, I believe that a portfolio with $1,000 in each of the next Magnificent 7 stocks could produce $1 million in the next 6 years. That's what happens when something as big as the printing press or electricity or the internet comes along. And I want every American to participate. So with that, I'm hopeful that you'll accept my offer to join the communique. All you have to do is click the button at the bottom of the screen that says, I want in on the AI boom. From there, I'll set you up to receive everything that I've promised today. You'll get access to the communique, my report on the next Magnificent 7, my #1 AI hyper-growth stock, my report on how to build $1 million portfolio from scratch, premier access to our club room, your special 80% discount, your 365-day money-back guarantee, and more. When you click the button, you can review every single benefit on the next screen. However, one word of caution. This AI market is moving forward faster than any new technological advancement that I've ever seen. So every day you wait, AI stocks are likely to get more expensive and your profit opportunity will become less. So now is the time to act. I've made it as easy as possible to participate. Now it's your choice to make. But there are 2 paths you can take right now. One, you can hesitate and play wait and see. This is, quite frankly, what most people do. They want to see everything play out before they make a decision, so they wait for the market to move before they act, but only at that point do they buy, after the big gains are off the table. I've seen it 100 times. People who knew something big was happening, but they failed to act. The second path is you take action. You side with the innovators and the entrepreneurs who are actively investing big in AI. You recognize, like the CEOs of Google, Apple, and JP Morgan, that this AI revolution is impacting every business on the face of the earth. And as Warren Buffett used to say, you take your thumb out of your mouth and you buy in. These next Magnificent 7 stocks are your opportunity to do just that. I can tell you personally that I've made mistakes in my investments over the years, but my biggest wins, like buying Apple in the late 90s, came when I saw something big happened or was happening, and I acted. That's what's in front of you now. So go ahead and click the button below to become a member of the communique. I'm ready to guide you through this $25.6 trillion AI boom, and I'll help you find the companies creating breakthrough technologies, setting sales records, and rewarding investors all along the way. Click the button below that says, I want in on the AI boom. I'll have each and every one of the next Magnificent 7 in your hands in the next few minutes. And you can do this with our no-risk guarantee backing you up. Just click the I want in on the AI boom button below. When you click the button, you'll immediately go to a secure page where you can review all your benefits and bonuses as a new Communique subscriber, and just fill in your information, and we'll get everything in your hands right away. At a minimum, you should make sure you sign up to receive all your free reports today. You can cancel any time over the first year for a full refund, so there's plenty of time for you to review everything and track the performance of my favorite AI stocks. Click the button below, and this time next week, you can meet me in one of our club room sessions and say hello as one of our brand new members. And we'll be happy to have you alongside our many happy existing Oxford Club members. So just press the button below and get your free AI reports now. And I look forward to seeing you in the club.